Welcome. I'll be sharing some information here with you. I'll be stopping my video because my internet gets a little bit slow when I share my video as well as my screen. So we're going to hop into in just a second here. I'm going to switch over here. I actually got to share my screen here first, I believe. So I'll share my screen. All right. So the strategy we're going to be talking about, it's a simple video strategy where a gentleman generated $11 million in listings in just 90 days. And I'm so excited to share this with you because I believe you can do this as well. Before we get started here, if you could just do me a quick favor, I'm going to put the QR code up here. And if you could scan this QR code to register, because afterwards, we're going to provide a copy of the recording as well as the deck slides. And there's another instructional video we're going to share with you from the gentleman that presents on this webinar with us today. So please take a moment to scan the QR code and plug in information so we can share the information with you afterwards. Cool. All right. So we'll if you didn't get to do that now, we'll actually put this up at the end as well. But if you could in the chat, real quick, what has been the biggest win for you this week? If you could share some big wins, I would certainly appreciate it. Just would like to see, some positive momentum here for everybody. All right, let's get started here. We're going to play a little bit of real estate trivia real quick. So I'm going to just have a couple questions here, and it's twist real estate trivia and who's smarter than the fifth grader. One of the things we'll ask is if you could put your answer in the comment section or the chat section, we'd certainly appreciate it. So we'll start the first question here. The question number one is regarding home buyers. So which group of home buyers made up the largest group of buyers in 2022? Was it A, baby boomers, B, millennials, or C, Gen Xers? So if you want to put your correct answer in the chat, we'd certainly appreciate it. All right, drum roll, please. The answer is baby boomers. 39% of baby boomers made up the total transactions in 2022. This is the first time in 9 years that millennials did not rank as number one group of buyers. In 2022, millennials actually made up 28% of all buyers, and that was the second largest group of buyers in that particular year. And this kind of speaks of some concerns about affordability for them. All more reasons why we should consider items such as maybe a seller buy down to help them lower that initial interest rate for those younger buyers that just don't have a ton of cash to put down or maybe afford that monthly payment when the rates are a little bit elevated. Let's go through one more quick question here. And that is lender denials. So what is the number one reason a lender denies a purchase application? Is it credit score, debt to income ratio, or down payment? All right. What is the answer? Debt to income ratio. 30% of all buyers' loan applications were turned down due to total monthly debts. That includes the mortgage. It's not credit score, which it looks like most of you were pretty smart here. You all made or selected B, debt to income ratio. So typically, a lot of people think it's the credit score, but it's not. That is the second reason at 25% of people being turned down is due to the credit score. All right. Well, thank you so much for participating in that. We're going to actually get to our normal scheduled broadcast here of how one simple video strategy generated $11 million in listings in just 90 days. And I know that you can do this as well. So we want to share this strategy with you and help you grow your business. So that being said, there's basically this strategy comes from Jimmy Burgess. He is the Chief Growth Officer at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services in Florida. And he has grown the company from 120 agents to more than 250 agents. And during that same period, the average sales volume per agent grew from 5 million to 8.5 million and led the organization or the team to 2 billion in sales volume in the last 12 months. So he's got a pretty impressive track record and has some really good insight. And I would encourage you to follow him on YouTube. He has some really good ideas and strategies how to grow your business in addition to this particular strategy. That being said, here's what Jimmy did. For 72 consecutive days, Jimmy shot one CMA video every day. He then sent the video to people who had spoken with, who said they might be open to selling their home at some point here in the near future. With those videos created, $11.2 million in listings, which eventually led to $9.1 million in closed sales. So would you like to see the exact steps that Jimmy did and how it could help you in your business grow your listings and do it yourself? Well, we got a two-part strategy here for you. And this is what to do. The first thing is Jimmy pulled and combed through his database for the right leads. He specifically pulled the names of anyone such as family, friends, sphere of influence, leads that he had, or people he met at open houses that told him they might sell within the next 2 years. He then created one video each day for all the people he identified. He used he used BombBomb Video to create the videos and provided recipients with an unsolicited comparative market analysis, or CMA. In a side note here, for that video, you can use BombBomb, Zoom, Loom, Canva, YouTube, whatever you want, your choice, whatever you feel most comfortable with. And then he basically put in the subject line a very simple thing, just the property address and valuation update. So very, very simple email there. And part of the strategy would be to use Google Earth. And that's the first tool he used. When someone opened that particular video, they saw Google Earth zooming or panning down to the space until the image of their home came into view. And I guess just think of that. When you got an email and you clicked on the video, then all of a sudden it was zooming into your particular property. Would that gain your interest that you'd be enthralled to want to watch the video and learn more? And then also the other part was he used his his MLS for the CMA. So he pulled up active, pending, and sold properties for the seller's area to show them what the market is right now and how things are selling. And also provided a seller net sheet to basically have that ready to show them what they could potentially net from the sale of their home minus selling expenses. So we're going to go through a video here that Jimmy provided, briefly explaining how he did it. And again, we have an elongated video, a little bit longer than this, to show you or provide to you afterwards. So once you sign up and register, the QR code will provide this to you in a little more detail. So I'm going to share this here real quick. So 1 second here, I'm going to share the.
Basically, the couple of things that I tied into, I used Google Earth on this. The reason I liked Google Earth is if I'll start this, you'll kind of see it begins to rotate. There's this 2D portion here. You'll see when I click the 2D portion, it flattens out on top of it, makes it look super high tech. The other tab that I had pulled up was the tab for the sales and the comparable active pending solds for the condo that I was doing. This example was a past client of mine in Adagio. So this will give you an idea of Adagio condos. I'm going to just let this play so you can kind of see this, and I'll stop it to talk about it as we go through.
Hey, Carrie, it's Jimmy Burgess with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services down at the beach. Just want to check in with you guys.
So notice how this is kind of moving and rotating right here. I'm just reaching out to them. This is the condos. You'll see how I show them the condos, and then I push the flatten out button with the 2D. Just push this 2D button, now 3D button. So I'm showing them. It gives me the ability to really show them visually what we're looking at. They can also see me, which gives that connection there. And then I'm going to just fast forward a little bit to show you kind of what I go to next. The next thing that I go to is that I pull up the comparables. And now I'm just going to walk through. You don't have to remember the comparables. I'm just going to go through and talk about the sales prices, the averages of what things are, give a range of value. And then at the end, what I do, and I just kind of go through these, at the end, then what I do is I just simply say, I hope this is valuable to you. And I want to make sure that you know that I'm here if I can ever help in any way. If you guys are thinking about possibly selling, let me know, and I'll be glad to get you a more distinct value just by doing a quick walkthrough of your place. I did 72 of these. These are folks that I had talked to, that I had built a relationship with. Also, this is my building pipeline going forward with people, because I then put them on the calendar to do another one of these in 6 months.
All right, so you can see his strategy. And then also I want to just bring down here, as you see, he had those tabs already open and ready to go. And that elongated version should have some more details on that. But he had all these, when he's recording his screen, he had Google Earth, the MLS information on their seller sheet. So he could click on the tabs as he's doing the screen recording. He had that information available to show them visually for their particular scenario. So pretty cool strategy that, again, he did 72 of those in 90 days. So let's just go to the next thing here real quick. So again, the results, 72 unsolicited CMAs he sent over 90 days, which resulted in $11.2 million in listed properties, which end up being 9.1 million sold. And if we were to break that down to 9.1 million at 2.5% commission, that's a GCI of $227,000. Can you guys hear me okay? Just want to make sure. Can anybody hear me okay? Hello? Okay, perfect. Thank you. So if we break this down, 227,000 GCI over 72 CMAs, that's 3152 per CMA. Or if we break it down to hourly rate, it takes 30 minutes per CMA, 72 CMAs, which is 36 hours. 36 divided into 227 gives you hourly rate of $6,300 per hour. Granted, our properties might not be worth as much in this market. However, the fact is, if we can get consistent at doing these one a day for 30 minutes a day, we're going to get traction. We're going to have good conversation. It's going to lead to opportunities for more listings. So it's going to give us that chance to grow our business. And it might not be at $6,300 per hour. It might be, a couple $100 per hour. But either way, we're going to grow our business if we do this consistently and engage with our clients or our friends or our family. So the question I have for you is, are you willing to do the work? Would you like for us to recap steps to learn how to implement this idea for yourself as well? All right, so let's recap it real quick here. So 5 things we need. Number 1, first and foremost, people. Let's get our list together, whether, again, family, friends, past clients, the farming area, people from open house. We need to get that list together and then do our research, go on the MLS for each specific one, find out the recent active, sold, pending property so we can get that all together for each particular CMA. And then that screen recorder, as I mentioned to you. We're doing this presentation as Zoom. You can use that as your screen recorder, or BombBomb, Loom, Canva, plus many more. Whichever one you feel most comfortable with, I would basically say use. Then Google Earth. Obviously, the website is there below. Otherwise, we'll give you a link afterwards that you can access it to. And then lastly, your email. So those are the 5 things that are required in order to move forward with the strategy. And I just want to make an important comment here, because most people might take it as we're selling or we're pushing a product, and we're really not. We're not selling. I look at it as we're simply adding value to people. You're putting yourself in the position so that you'll be the first person that they think of when they're ready to make that move, because you have been able to add the most value to them. So I guess I want to make sure that we look at this more the servant mentality, not the selling mentality. And based upon that, does this make sense that we're not selling and we're actually serving our clients? Okay, so how to use Google Earth. So we're going to do a quick tutorial. I'm going to show on my screen a non-verbal video here. So then I'll point a few things out afterwards. So I'm going to click over to that and we'll go through that real quick. But I guess before we get started with it, has anybody used Google Earth at all yet?
For what?
Play around with it for whatever.
Oh, yeah, I've been in there. It's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Now I played around with my whole subdivision, scanning around after I plugged in my address just to kind of see some of the pictures you'll see when you'll look at it. They can be a little dated, because I noticed a few properties in our subdivision did some updates in the last handful of years and they haven't been reflected on there. So some of the stuff might be a little dated the outside wise, but for the most part, it's pretty good and pretty accurate. So I'm just going to let this run here real quick. And then the first thing is right here. That's the search area where you type in the address. And then down below, he's going to show you. It's going to, pan in and pan out here. I'll just wait till it's done here. So I would encourage you to play around with this a little bit, maybe with your address or other addresses or any property you've listed now before you would send one out, just so you have a good feeling for it, or before you start recording. But down below this 2D here, right below it, there's a plus minus where you can zoom in, zoom out. The 2D versus 3D kind of changes the dynamics of how you'd view the property or the area you're looking at. And then the little person here, that's kind of walking trail thing. So again, I would encourage you just to play around with a little bit before you would try to do your first virtual CMA here, just so you can save some time on that. So I guess one question I do have for you, was this valuable, or did you find any insight or ideas, brainstorming that are, gets your mind going on how we could use this to implement into our business to create additional opportunities and conversations? Cool. So one question I do have for you, who on here today will implement this idea? And if so, when would you say that you could start implementing it by? And if you want to put your feedback in the chat, that'd be cool. And here's how I can help, because oftentimes people's beliefs are about being able to sell and afford to move up aren't based upon factual numbers. They're based upon assumptions. And most people are on the on hold mode because of those assumptions. And we're working with some agents right now to help partner and structure conversations with potential sellers and perform a move up analysis to help them map out a plan based upon real numbers. So if you want to learn more about that move up analysis for any of your clients, put a comment in the chat and we're happy to help out, because we have some different ideas and tools to provide to you to help with that move up analysis, so you can visually show your clients what that would look like for them. So if you are interested, just make a quick comment in the chat. We'd appreciate it. Then also, I want to bring to your attention, we will be bringing out more classes in the future. And here's a couple examples of various classes we do have. We did one about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, for Google Business Profile. We're going to be bringing one back about Google Business Profile here shortly, and then probably come September, just after the summer gets over with, because I think that is a very important aspect to grow your business as well, to getting your Google Business Profile dialed in. As more people do the research, a study that was done, 85% of the people that connect with an agent or a lender do their research online before they reach out. So that's why I feel right now Google Business Profile is just as important as any other social media profile, that we get that dialed in with all the proper pictures, reviews, Q&As, etc., to get you guys up and running, to get people for you to come up in searches when people do searches for realtors. But with that in mind, I just want to say thank you. I do appreciate your time today, and look forward to connecting with you afterwards, and happy to help you guys out any way we can and provide more value to you and your business, because ultimately, to me, it's all about helping you grow and helping you grow your business. So please reach out if we could be of additional services. But also, if you are interested in getting more information about a move up analysis to help you out when you're having that conversation with any potential home sellers, we're happy to help any way we can. And yes, you can play Scrabble. Any questions? Anybody want to call off mute? Any questions we can help answer, or any feedback you could provide? We appreciate it.
Hey, Tom, Trisha had a question about what exactly a move-up analysis is. Do you want to explain that a little bit?
Sure. We have a tool at our disposal where we can put together up to 4 different scenarios. Well, one scenario would be obviously their current situation. Then we could do other scenarios side by side to it, so we can visually show clients. We call it a TCA, or total market analysis. So we can show those clients what it would be, and we can do various price points or just different down payment amounts if they were to buy, or if they buy before they would sell, that we can show a recast option where they could buy with, like, for example, 5% down today, and then once they sell their house, they can recast that payment down to a lower payment based upon that pay down amount. So we got various different move up analysis tools we can certainly share with you to show what it would look like for them if they're to make that move today. Does that make sense? See any other questions here? Any other question anybody else has? If not, I again appreciate your time and certainly reach out. We'd love to help and provide any additional resources for you.